Well, we are in Lake of the Woods Lake in Indiana. Now, I've never been here before. This is my first time on this lake. In fact, the first time I've even looked at this lake was maybe a day or two ago on one of my graphs or one of my maps on a computer. So I don't really know anything about this lake. Obviously, it's Indiana, so northern Indiana, so it has grass. That's going to be a given. There's going to be a lot of grass. So it's interesting because it looks like it's deep enough to hold smallmouth bass year round. So that's interesting. We might be able to fish for some smallmouth bass. See how it goes. Water visibility, let's start off with that, looks like it's almost 2 feet. Man. So maybe a big swim bait today, like a glide bait or something like that. It's going to be a little bit of wind. It's going to be basically like this all day today, just partly cloudy, suns. High of 72 or 73, something like that. Water temps right now are 71.5 degrees in this area of the lake. So those are our conditions. We're kind of just fun fishing, just checking out this lake. Like I said, I have zero experience in this lake, so looks interesting. I want to try it. I don't know if they are post-spawn, in the spawn. I'm assuming that they're probably a little bit of mix of post-spawn and spawn due to the water temps. I mean, it's 71 degrees, but we have had fluctuating temperatures in this area of the state, so you never know. Figured I would just start off with a spinner bait just to see if I can get any kind of a follower or a reaction. And then depending on what it does, I will go from there, whether I'm fishing a little bit slower, a little bit faster, a little bit larger, a little bit smaller, all that. Let's go. Looks like there's quite a bit of shelf on this lake. What I mean by that is there's a lot of shallow right along the bank. Long, shallow banks, and then just drop-offs. So, might need to just fish the drop-off. This bass could be, unless they're really, really shallow, cruising around on the flat, they just might be hanging out on these shelves. So, we're gonna do a little bit of hunting. We got the Lowrance Hook Reveal 9TS. I'll say this, it does the job for basic stuff, but I'm not super impressed with it at this point. I think you can get these things for pretty cheap. So if you can get it really cheap, then maybe it's worth it if you don't have anything. But the fish reveal, in my opinion, is kind of, oh, there was a bass. But that was weird because he just kind of mouthed the very back tail of it and then did not commit. Almost like he is on a bed. Kind of like he's trying to move it off the bed. So that tells me something right away. That tells me that we might need to switch to something like a wacky rig or a worm, because this is a moving bait. They can just kind of move it off the bed because it's already moving. So in other words, they can just usher it, just to assist it off the bed. But a worm, wacky rig, they have to actually grab it with their mouth to move it off the spot. So right now I've got a little Z-Man minnow tied on. Before we start throwing the wacky rig around or a worm, let me throw a little minnow back there. Maybe they're a garden fry or something like that, and get a quick reaction on a minnow. It was a small bass though. Nothing of great size, but because I saw it, kind of want to give it a chance to maybe eat a minnow. Alright, so let's put this rod down so we don't snag it when we catch this 10-pound bass. Yeah, optimistic you could say. You have to be as a fisherman. You know, it's funny, I don't really know too many pessimistic. Oh, there he is. Like I said, super tiny. Barely bigger than a minnow. Buddy, you gotta be careful because I'm a nice fisherman. I'll let you go, but some would use you as bait. Here, let me get this hook out without giving you a big old scar. Oh, there he is. First bass of the day. He's ready to go. He's ready to go. Get on out of here. Go tell your friends about me. Well, that was fun. Record. You know what? I should have measured that guy because I think that's probably the record small bass of the year. Got this little Z-Man minnow tied on. Like I said, it's a really, really good darter. The only thing I've noticed is that if you use too light of a hook, it tends to just go on its side and or belly up and not really swim all that great. So make sure you're using a decent size hook, a little bit of weight, and it'll swim properly. All right, well, the other thing that's going on is that on another lake that I just fished in a tournament, ended up finishing 7th, not the greatest, but there was a massive shad spawn on that lake. I mean, I'll show you a picture of my graph. The amount of shad, the amount of bait fish on this graph was insane. The entire graph was just full, millions and millions and millions of shad. Anyways, finished 7th, and what I was going to say is that this little minnow, I caught a couple, but I had the biggest bass of the tournament. I'm not sure exactly what that wins me, maybe just bragging rights. But I had the biggest bass of the tournament and lost by about 4 inches or something like that. But I had 2 on that were just as big as the biggest bass. So if I would have caught probably one of those, I would have won the whole thing. That's the way it goes. This minnow actually does a really good job of, if you just let it sit, the way it wobbles as it floats down. It's crazy. It's just kind of like shimmers like bop, 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 like a dying bait fish. That does pretty well if you have the right hook on. So you can just throw it out there, let it sit, especially if there's a bunch of school of, that's how I was catching them. I was skipping it on the top of the surface, and then I was also just letting it free fall or dead drift if you're into fly fishing. Got a lot of lake to go around today, so might just put the trolling motor on and go. Well, let's see, what is this? Yeah, this looks like hard bottom, man. This is like jig territory. Yeah, it's like sand and rock, man. Sand and rock. Definitely jig territory. Or crawl territory. Oh, there's a bunch of minnows right underneath their boat. Running to yak. Put this little minnow on a spinning reel, spinning rod, and you can cast in wild. Got 10-pound braid with a 12-pound fluorocarbon leader. Now the reason why I do a 12-pound fluorocarbon leader instead of like a 10-pound or something like that is 2 reasons. One, I feel like the braid cuts into the fluorocarbon if it's too thin, so I do put several loops of braid around it so it doesn't cut as bad. And then second of all, I really don't want my fluorocarbon to break. And that 10-pound fluorocarbon tends to just get cut pretty easy. I don't feel like I lose any action on the baits. Plus a little bit of heavier fluorocarbon on a light minnow like this or a really light worm, it actually helps it flutter down rather than a 10-pound fluoro. So that's how I fish it. That's what I do. Let's see what we got. We're in 9 foot of water right here. Ooh, there's fish right there. Couple fish. Couple fish. More fish. A school of fish off to the right. Just off to the right. Like they were like on the shelf to the right. That was weird. Don't know if they're bass, but ooh, somebody's burning leaves and sticks and whatnot. Man, it smells so good. Well, they're camping. Felt like they were right on, maybe a bleeded jig might do pretty well too. Get it down deeper, throw it into that grass, rip it out. Because those bass were set right up on that grass line is what they were doing. I need to present just a good old-fashioned worm to them. I'll feed them with that. Yeah, there's a couple fish right on the screen, right below me, in 9.8 feet of water. So that's like lipless crankbait, that's jerkbait territory, that's a worm. It's even a shaky head if there's gaps in the grass. If you can get it into the gaps. All right, well, let's see if they're post spawn. The bass are post spawn or in the mix of it. So if some are spawning and some are post spawn, the next thing up is a bluegill. So we could put on, like, say, a perch jerkbait. That might be good, or a perch colored swim jig. So something looks like a bluegill. I even have a bluegill glide. Ooh, I left that in the car. There's the source of what we're smelling. It smells good. All right, so I got a couple of fish in the tops of this grass at about 8 feet. Yep, there they are. Looks like some crappie as well in there. So what we did was we tied on a perch colored swim jig, or more of a bluegill pattern, I should say. Just to see what we get. I'm going to throw it up into the shallows, bring it off the ledges. I might need to throw a jig down there, or a worm. You know what? Because it looks like I've got stuff going on in like 8 and 9 feet of water. So I'm going to switch to a jerkbait real quick. Or, you know what? Let's throw a lipless real quick down there. Let's do this. Let's stay out in about like, I don't know, like 12 feet of water for us. Throw it up into the lower stuff. Just work it out nice and slow. I feel like I'm going way on the tops of their heads, so I need to slow down my retrieve. Get this so it's not screwed up. First one on, dude, right off the top of that grass. That was cool. That was the spot I saw him in. Let's see if we can get him in the net. Oh yeah. That was cool. So I saw him right on top of the grass. Saw them sitting there kind of hovering. hanging out, playing hooky. Ended up catching this guy. Look how purdy this bass is. Man. Already got you in the gill plate, which is always good. With the lipless, because the front one was coming off. Look how pretty that bass is, man. It's got one spot. That's alright. Everybody's got a blemish. Yeah. Good looking bass. Healthy. Okay. Oh yeah. We're measuring. We're measuring. Let's put them on the board. We've got 13.75. Okay. That's cool. Alright. Well, so the lipless might work. I'm gonna have to move because I'm gonna faint in all this smoke. I'm gonna pass out, man. But he's giving me cover. I got you covered. Get in there. Oh yeah, look, a bunch of bait fish just scattering as I'm coming through. Like I said, I am not a crankbait fisherman at all, but I'm starting to get there. Starting to understand it. Starting to see it. Starting to feel it. Might start getting dangerous. Get dangerous with it. Man, if I can add crankbait into my repertoire. Can you imagine? Not there yet. Now you give me frog conditions, I can do that all day, man. I'll wreck people with a frog, but crankbaiting is my weakness. Alright, so there's more fish on that spot right there, right below me, but that's 10 feet. Hanging out in a little clump of grass. That's probably crappie, bluegill, something like that. That's definitely not bass, how they're set up. Uh-oh. Fell up there burning leaves and stuff. He just got into a bee's nest. So he just got stung a couple times. Oh, kicking up dust. Hopefully it's not wasps, man. Those things. Can you say wasps without sounding silly? Wasps. Wasps. Yeah, no, I don't think it's possible. Yeah, it smells so good, man. Question is, can I get him out of there? He's just a little fella. Just a little fella, but I can get him out of there. There you are. You're out of the thick stuff, buddy. Come here. Oh man, you're gonna get me hooked, buddy. Don't pee all over me. I didn't do nothing to you. There you go. See? Nice and easy. Nice and easy. It's like right between that bush and that little hole in the wall. Figured something's got to be back there, and it's also protected by all the lily pads, so perfect spot for bass to be. Stuck to the wall. Subtle presentation though. Oh, it's starting to get to my favorite time of the year, man. Frogs are going to be the ticket here in a second. See how these dragonflies coming out. Bluegill starting to move in. Tell you what, I'm going to change this out real quick. so subtle, dude. Should still have them on. I hope I still got them on. Yep, there he is. Man, that guy gave a fight and a half right there. Ooh, he was probably seconds away from getting off. He had a hole in his lip. The hook was in. That was well big enough for him to get off. That was good though. Got him. Mark it up. It's about to turn frog season, man, and I love it. I'm about to. Ooh, it's gonna be a party. About to be a party, man. If we can get the frog bite going, cannot wait. He ate it on the paws. He didn't smack it either. He just came up and just nibbled it. So I was using that popping frog a little bit earlier, but I switched to this one because a couple of reasons. One, everything in here, there's not a whole lot of commotion going on. So there's not a bunch of bait fish swimming around, there are things popping on the water, there's not fish really popping, so I figured I would match whatever's happening in the water. What are the conditions that are happening around you? Kind of match that. Don't get too crazy. You come through here with like a, it's plated jig or a big old popping frog or a whopper plopper or something like that. You might get a bite. At the same time, you're just gonna spook the crap out of everything. Oof. That was a weird splash. It's like you went nose first or something. Oh, there's a bunch of fry right there. Pretty sure just saw a cloud of fry over there. Means there's probably a male bass guarding it. Maybe even a female bass. That's the other thing, because it's so early in the frog season. Yeah, the other thing I'm doing is I'm not being real aggressive with my walking of the frog either. So I'll just barely make that thing turn rather than making it turn a quick 90-degree angle. Just make it do a nice subtle little turn. So like I said, the temperatures are 73 degrees outside. And the water temps aren't too much cooler than that. Just like that. So you saw how he came up and just barely ate it. But that was the one that was guarding the fry. That's where I saw the fry. That's the thing, man. You just match what's going on, and you probably start catching some more bass rather than doing some crazy technique. Just match what's going on. It's like a simple male guarding the bass, or guarding the fry. It's your bass. So I was right. Let's go see what one of these places look like behind the docks. Ooh, all grass, man. All grass. Just nothing but grass. Grass all the way up to the wall. Although, you know what? Ooh, might be getting a bite. Yep. I was gonna say, you know what? I might want to check. Because those are shallow back in there. And because today is so cold, they are gonna warm up. And get sun. Anytime that sun hits those rocks, that's where they're gonna be. I'll get you out in a second. Little. Look at the belly on that one. He's not hurting for food. Let's go along the side of it. Just in case somebody's home wants to play. That's cool. We got a little lighthouse there. Brick lighthouse. Oh, somebody was home. Aha. All right. Well, you were on that side of the dock, huh? All right. Cool. Wonder why you're on that side of the dock, man. But he was. So I'm gonna pay note to that. See if I can get more of those on that side of the docks. Good to note. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. I mean, anything could be cover out here. I mean, obviously there's lots of grass, but anything could be cover out here. Like mats, like overhead covers is what I'm talking about. Not just cover, like there could be anywhere. Oh, there's a bass. There was 2 bass. Oh man, they were just chilling right there. What were they doing? I'm just getting warm. They were just chilling, man. Just 2 bass. They weren't even making out. What are they doing? Probably just getting warm, man. Just getting warm. Like me, looking for the sunshine. They were just 2 bass just chilling in there. Just in that one little open spot, doing nothing. Wow. Yeah. Let's see that. Oh my God, that was a big carp or whatever that was. Yeah, it was a carp. I think it was shamu. There's one. That wasn't crazy. I made me lose my worm, man. Come on, bro. Solid bass, though, for this lake, I think. Yeah, but made me lose my worm, man. Healthy, fat bass. Look at that guy. Look at him. Look at his belly. Dude is fattening up. Let's see. 14, and he is going to get bigger. You can tell by the way he ate that. The way he fought it too, man. Fought it like a champ. All right. Back off of that just for a second. Get reset. Looks like we got some possible rain or storm on the horizon. Look at those pink. Looks like pink and red in the clouds over there. Hopefully there's not a tornado coming. Better check the weather. All right, I'm gonna check the weather. I'll be back. Back at it with the wacky rig on the zoom worm. Just had a 14-incher. Eat it. No problem. It's a Zoom trick worm in, oh, hey, look, there's my other Zoom trick worm right there. Or, is that mine? Dude, that'd be cool. But that's not even mine. That's like a robo worm or something. No, that's my trick worm. Got it back. All right. Ooh. There he is, dude. That was a late one. That was a really late one. Hey, don't be losing my Zoom worm, dude. Netting my Zoom worms while fighting the fish. Looks like a healthy one. I'm gonna give up now. Yep, I'm gonna give up. Fat boy in the store. Ate the bola. Oh yeah. Fatty Patty. Look at that guy, man. Okay. Probably pushing 15. Put him on the scale. The board. Oh, he's 16 and a quarter. Okay. 16 and a quarter. Eating that Zoom worm under a dock. How about that? That's pretty cool, man. Good looking fish. See you later, buddy. Ooh, maybe they're just feeding because it's about to break loose on this storm. It's coming. I can feel it. I'm sure they can feel it too. I feel it in my bones. All right, well, got 2 Zoom worms in the net. Take those out. Reload them. Pretty sure I just heard thunder. That looks like a healthy dock. You got anything on there? This wind. Yep, sure enough. Felt like it was a healthy dock, man. Save the worm. He's a little one. 14-incher. Maybe even less. Let him go pretty quick, cause get back at it. They have to actually grab it with their mouth. Yeah, optimistic you could say. Go tell your friends about me. Not sure exactly what that wins me. Maybe just bragging rights. It's a Zoom trick worm in, oh, hey look, there's my other Zoom trick worm right there. Crankbaiting, it's my weakness. Can you say wasps without sounding silly? Wasps, wasps. Yeah, no, I don't think it's possible.